and thank you for this opportunity to speak over here. So let's start with the topic. I would like to invite you to imagine a land in which there is a lot of potential for agriculture and production, with the world's one of the highest peaks over there, and also a very you can say extensive river system flowing from the north to the south of the whole country. You can see from here the rivers flow to the sea, the Arabian Sea, and because of these river systems, there is lots of irrigation system and canal system that goes around the country and fosters the agricultural production that we have. Therefore, we are a large producer of wheat, which is staple over there, and of rice as well, a big exporter of rice. Not only that, but we produce fruits more than we need. So we are exporter of that too, especially some of the apricots and the apples and citrus fruits and mangoes. So there is a large production of fruits as well as vegetables, and our vendors are going from household to household to sell you very nutritious foods that they have to offer you. In addition to that, we have livestock for meat and dairy production, and Pakistan is one of the exporters of meat as well. Having said that, we have a very rich culture of food, some of the foods that you might have tasted over here as well. And this country is home to 259, more than 259 million people, and that's a lot. And for context, to Switzerland, the city that I live in, it's called Lahore. It's the second largest city of Pakistan, and it is home to almost 14 million people. That's as compared to Switzerland. Switzerland's whole population is 9 million. So this one city is larger than the country itself. So we are a lot of people, and this figure was taken on 12th of August. So till now, I don't know, the figures must have gone up. So with that, our agriculture contributes to a quarter of the gross domestic product, and it is considered an agricultural country with 65% of the population living in the rural areas. So they farm and they produce livestock as well as the crops. And not only humans, but Pakistan is also indigenous to, has some indigenous flora and fauna who also share this environment. Other than this whole thing about food, what we also have is an important feature of life, that is air. So we will be talking about how food and environment are linked together. So let's go back to an old school lesson that when we combine what we eat and what we breathe in, we produce energy and breathe out carbon dioxide. That's the basic thing. So considering this, you can see that food and air are not completely separate stories. They are very intrinsically connected with one another and should be considered so. Talking about the environment, I would like to tell you that in Pakistan we have 5 major seasons, very distinct ones, with summers. The sun is all out, and then we have monsoon season, and then we have beautiful autumn season, and then we have winters, and then we have spring season as well. After spring, we get we prepare for the long heat that we have, And as over here in Europe as well, there was the temperatures rose this year very much. In Pakistan, also we face the heat waves, and in Lahore, that the city that I live in, this year the temperatures rose up to 45. This is one of the figures in 43, and with humidity, it becomes very difficult to live over there. And I must say that Lahore is not the hottest city of Pakistan. The temperatures in the south regions can go up to 50 degrees in summers. And this I put this picture just to show you some of the cultural aspects as well. So the wheels of this vehicle are less than the people who are sitting on it. So it's not allowed over there as well, but still. People are wearing this clothes, wet clothes, in order to save themselves from the heat that they are facing. So extreme heat over there prompts emergency responses, especially schools are closed, and there are other protocols as well, and electricity shutdowns is not one of them, but it does happen, and you can imagine how well you can live in such high temperatures with electricity shutdowns, but that's a separate story. Extreme heat, you can see from these figures from UNICEF. In South Asia, they say that 553 million children are exposed to extreme heat in South Asia, and Pakistan is one of the countries over there. These absolute figures might represent the population that we have over there. So that's one of the factors contributing to the higher or longer bar. But still, it is considered as a risk according to UNICEF, the exposure to extreme heat. And then talking about this heat, we get the rain, and then the temperatures go a bit down, and then we are waiting for the winters. What happens is that in winters, when the temperatures drop down, one more thing gets hold of the environment other than the sun, which is called smoke. So have any one of you heard about it? Smoke. Yeah. So it's something hazy in the environment. So you are unable to see, unable to breathe. So basically, it affects your lungs and affects your eyes, and is considered as one of the threats to as harmful as cigarette smoking if you are living in that environment. Unfortunately, with all the good things that I told you about in the first slides, Pakistan ranks as the first most polluted country in the previous year. And the city Lahore that I was telling you about, that ranks second in the world. It competes with Delhi in India, and we top one another maybe in the competition, I don't know. But still, one gets on first and the second gets on first. So the according to the WHO guidelines of the air quality, the amount of pollution that we have can be 13 times more than the recommended levels according to WHO. This is again a picture from Lahore when it was second most polluted, yeah, fifth most populated country in the world, but first polluted one. So this was a figure from 2025 last year. So over here you can see that smoke covers the environment and you are unable to see the things, and sunshine doesn't like the sun doesn't come out. We used to mix fog with smoke previously, But since 2017, this problem has risen more, and it is getting more and more attention. As you can see from this figure, that the air quality index is from 11th of August this year, and it says as unhealthy to live over there, but it is still home to like more than 40 million people who are living over there. And our demography of Pakistan is such that younger generation from 10 to 15, I think, like lesser than adults, more children live over there. So you can see from this trend that as the temperatures drop in the winter season, the air quality index drops. So in 2025, December, it was 271 AQI. It was very unhealthy according to the US parameter that they have used. And according to UNICEF, over 11 million children under 5 in peril as they breathe toxic air in Punjab, Pakistan. They have said that so many children are being affected, especially in 2024. That was the extreme smoke environment over there, and schools were closed for several weeks. Not only the winter season, but also even before that, in November as well, the schools were closed. And about 12% of deaths in Pakistani children under 5 are attributed to air pollution. Now, this has become a bit depressive. So, let me take you to something not so important, but still. I used to think that everyone who lives in other parts of the world, or maybe developed countries, they have very good phones, and then they post pictures if they are so clear that their camera quality is very good. So when I came over here last year, my phone was the same, and I just tried to use comparable pictures at a similar time. So you can see the sky over there. It's in Lahore Mosque from Mughal era, and this is in Rome. So you can see the same camera can have different results when you change countries. So one of the things about air pollution is that we do not actually, while living over there, we don't actually consider it as a hazard. We have lockdowns from the government, but we still go out, and we have so many like cars over there and motorcycles. More than the cars, our three-wheelers are open air, so we can breathe all the stuff. So let's go back from here to our old school things, and I would like to highlight how food affects Pakistan, like food insecurity and the situation of malnutrition. These are some old figures because newer figures are not available. Stunting, wasting, underweight, overweight, all of these are quite prevalent over there according to the survey, and household food insecurity is also high. But my question is, what about there is much work being done for increasing the security of food and to provide for the malnourished children and pregnant women and all the campaigns that we have. But what about the environment? Does it sit in a separate chapter of our life? Like it is a separate chapter that we do not have to prepare right now. We are preparing for food, and then afterwards we will prepare for that. Obviously not, because environment can directly impact the production of food. The heat waves can get the crops ruined. We can have like droughts and famine. We can have impacts because of natural disasters, deforestation. The capacity of agricultural land can reduce. We have had major floods, and it can impact on the food production. The crops are the top part of the soil, which is producing the crops goes away. And then we have humanitarian services for the flood affected areas, and what we provide them is food. So food and environment is all linked together. I would also like to highlight this, that food is also linked to environment in another sense. For example, it is said that if food waste was a country, then it would be the third largest greenhouse emitting country in the world. So if we waste food, so it's degraded, and the emissions can lead to environmental pollution. Similarly, the production of food can also lead to environmental pollution. As you can see over there, beef production has the highest carbon footprint. So the question is that the very foods that we need to tackle the malnutrition situation, such as this, can lead to food insecurity because of their impacts on the climate. So it's not an easy problem. Everything is linked together in two ways. What happens is that we see the environment as everything is linked together, like clean water, food, clean air, school, and this child is happy. But if our policies are all fragmented, then what will happen? We are unable to connect the interventions enough. My question is that will these fragmented interventions for food and environment separately do anything? So can I eat healthy food if my production of my food is getting low because of the environmental pollution and it is getting expensive to eat? Will I be able to go outside and do physical activity if my environment looks like this? So our SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, they have several of the goals related to health of the person, such as zero hunger, the clean water sanitation, climate action, sustainable cities, and good health and well-being. But the thing is that we need to integrate them all in order to create the environment that we want ourselves as well as our next generation to live in. We need to nourish them, but protect the environment as well as prevent the pollutants to go into the environment. And then we have to combine all the interventions together in order to make them make some like changes happen. So I would like to end with this, that the food we eat and the air we breathe, the environments we create, and the health of people who inherit them, they all are linked together, and they should be intervened together in our public health policies.